Most Christians pray for prosperity, but almost none of them live in it consistently. And it isn't because God is restricting their blessing or delaying their breakthrough. It's because prosperity is the fruit of alignment, not emotion. It responds to consistency, not occasional effort. There are 5 spiritual habits woven throughout Scripture that every biblical giant practiced. These habits are simple, but powerful. Abraham lived them before he ever saw increase. Joseph practiced them before he ever saw promotion. Solomon mastered them before he ever saw wealth. And when these habits become part of your lifestyle, prosperity begins to chase you instead of you chasing it. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe so you never miss powerful biblical messages that strengthen your faith and expand your thinking. Habit 1. Give before you need, and this is the habit almost everyone gets backwards. Most people wait until they have more before they give. They wait until they feel comfortable. They wait until they feel secure. But Scripture shows that prosperity begins when you release what you have, not when you finally receive what you want. The world says, give when you're comfortable. God says, give when you trust me. That's why Proverbs 11:24 says, one gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. That's the complete opposite of human logic. Abraham gave Melchizedek 1/10 of everything long before he became the father of many nations. The widow in Zarephath gave Elijah her last bit of oil before her jar started overflowing. Isaac sowed in famine before God returned 100-fold harvest. The pattern is consistent. They all gave first, and then abundance came. Giving is not something wealthy believers do. Giving is what makes believers wealthy. When you give before you feel ready, before it makes sense, before the numbers line up, you tell heaven, I trust you with what I have. And God always multiplies what is surrendered to Him. Most people are stuck financially because they give last. Prosperity responds when you give first. Generosity is not an event. It must become a lifestyle. Habit 2. Speak life over your finances. Your mouth is the steering wheel of your financial future. Most Christians speak themselves into lack without realizing it. They pray for abundance, but speak like poverty. They ask God for breakthrough, but release words that contradict everything they desire. Scripture doesn't mince words here. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words don't just describe your reality, they shape it. Job said, the thing I feared has come upon me. Not the thing he believed for, the thing he feared. Fear creates expectation of lack. Faith creates expectation of increase. When you repeatedly say, money is tight, I'm always struggling, I can't catch a own break, your mouth becomes a weapon against your own destiny. But when you begin to declare, my God supplies all my needs, wealth flows into my hands, I walk in favor, you plant spiritual seeds with your voice. Your words are containers. They carry either fear or faith. Prosperity responds to the language of heaven, not the language of fear. What you speak consistently becomes what you experience eventually, and until your mouth changes, your money won't either. Habit 3. Honor rest as a spiritual discipline. Almost no believer realizes how deeply rest affects prosperity. We live in a culture that worships overworking, busyness, and exhaustion. People proudly say, I never stop, I never rest. But Scripture shows the opposite principle. God commanded rest not to restrict you, but to prosper you. When the Israelites tried to gather extra manna on the Sabbath, it rotted. God was showing them that anxiety-driven labor produces loss. Trust-driven rest produces provision. God Himself rested on the 7th day, not because He was tired, but because He was modeling the rhythm of heaven. That's why Exodus 20 includes the Sabbath as a command, not a suggestion. When you refuse to rest, you are subconsciously saying, everything depends on me. But prosperity flows from dependence on God, not dependence on your own strength. People who lack rest make impulsive decisions. They enter wrong opportunities. They burn out mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But people who honor rest become sharper, clearer, more focused, and more receptive to God's voice. Rest is not laziness. Rest is obedience. And when you obey in rest, God increases the productivity of your work. Rest is a spiritual weapon against the spirit of poverty. Habit 4. Seek wisdom before wealth. This is the habit Solomon built his entire life upon. If anyone understood prosperity, it was him. When God gave Solomon an open invitation to ask for anything, riches, fame, victory, power, Solomon asked for one thing: wisdom. And God gave him everything he didn't even request. That's why 1 Kings 3:9 records Solomon saying, "Give your servant an understanding heart to govern your people." Wisdom attracted wealth. Wisdom attracted influence. Wisdom attracted favor. Most people chase money. Wise people chase wisdom. And money eventually chases wise people. When you seek wisdom first, through scripture, prayer, counsel, study, and discernment, your decisions become profitable. You avoid traps disguised as opportunities. You avoid impulsive spending. You manage resources well. Wisdom multiplies what God gives you. Wealth gained without wisdom disappears quickly. Wealth gained with wisdom becomes generational. If you want unending prosperity, seek wisdom more aggressively than you seek wealth. Wisdom is the foundation of every long-lasting blessing. Habit 5. Practice contentment while expecting increase. This final habit is the hardest for most believers to master. Contentment is not settling. It is spiritual stability. It is the ability to trust God where you are while believing Him for where you are going. Paul said in Philippians 4:11, "I have learned to be content in whatever state I am in." But a few verses later he said, "My God will supply all your needs according to His riches." That is the balance. Content but expectant. Peaceful but believing. Stable but stretching. Discontentment is dangerous. It leads to panic decisions, emotional spending, bad partnerships, and chasing quick money that destroys more than it builds. Content people move with clarity. They don't make desperate choices. They wait for God's timing instead of forcing their own. And when God sees a believer who is stable, faithful, and patient, He releases increase because He knows they won't ruin it. Contentment is not the enemy of prosperity. It is the soil prosperity grows in. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season." When you embrace your season instead of fighting it, your next season arrives faster and stronger. Here is the truth. None of these habits work one time. Abraham didn't give once. He lived generosity. Solomon didn't seek wisdom once. He pursued it daily. Joseph didn't speak life once. He held onto hope for years. Rest wasn't something Israel practiced rarely. It was built into their lifestyle. Contentment didn't come naturally to Paul. He learned it. These habits aren't actions. They are transformations. Prosperity doesn't respond to moments. Prosperity responds to consistency. You're not watching this by accident. God is revealing the blueprint that biblical giants used to walk in unending prosperity. But now it's up to you to apply it. James 1:22 says, "Be doers of the word, not hearers only." Start today. Give something. Speak life. Schedule rest. Ask God for wisdom. Practice contentment. Prosperity is not magic. It is alignment. If this message spoke to your heart, type "I walk in God's prosperity" in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more faith-building messages that transform your life.